4 days before Good Friday. I just had a headache and little floaters in my eyes, and noticing that I wasn't saying the words I wanted to say. I went over that night and got my MRI. Early Friday morning, my husband Chris and I came downstairs and called the doctor's office. And while I was on the phone waiting, I overheard the secretary say, "Oh, she's got a tumor, we'll have to refer her out." I hung up and I told Chris they said I had a tumor, and my poor husband cried, and I just felt like, get this thing out so I can get on with my life. Not that simple.
I was working at my desk and Tony came in and said, "I don't remember how to turn on the computer. Will you show me how to turn on the computer?" And I took a deep breath and I went in and I showed him where to press the button. And I said, "Something's really wrong. It's like asking me to turn on the light switch."
Monica was visiting us during her summer vacation, and we were on a trip from Switzerland to Germany. She started flailing her arms around, but I made it to a gas station in Germany, and they called the German equivalent of 911, and she ended up in the hospital there, and they said she has a brain tumor.
Zelda was from Honolulu, and she was off visiting her mother. And in the middle of a conversation with her mother, her words came out in gibberish. She was rushed to the hospital, and a lesion was seen in the brain. She had the worst form of cancer, some horror called glioblastoma multiforme. It's a virtual death sentence. And I made up my mind then that I would be her caregiver.
My area of expertise is in brain tumors. That means in not only the research of brain tumors, but in taking care of patients and their families who have this disease. When I started this, I promised myself that I would make an impact in this disease at some point in my career or by the end of my career.
We've been together 12 years. We've been married 7 years.
She came to my house as the unannounced but welcome guest, and it was love at first sight.
What was most interesting to me about him was his formidable intelligence and energy.
I was working at a convenience store that only sold cigarettes and gas. Debbie came in and kept asking questions like, "Do you know what time it is?" There's a big clock above her. So I had the impression that maybe she was a little slow. And in reality, she was hitting on me, and I just didn't pick it up because I was the slow one.
Monica was number 4. She had 3 older brothers, which influenced her very much. She didn't want a ribbon in her hair. She wanted old T-shirts and blue jeans from her brothers. And I was very unhappy because I wanted a little girl after the 3 boys.
I met Zelda in the early 1970s. You might say it was love at first sight. She was tall and slender, blonde with piercing blue eyes. She was the loveliest woman I have ever met. The crowning grace in all of this, she had the brains to match.
Why did you go to medical school? That's a question that everyone has asked. The generic response is to help people, but I think that really is why people go into medicine. And also the idea of a noble profession and wanting to do something that would have a lasting effect, something that I felt was important. I think medicine suits that, at least for me.